been a fantastic Walmart stop for us. It's been level, pretty quiet. I know there's a semi beside us right now making some noise, but he wasn't doing that last night. Sometimes you're at Walmart and there's like semis pulling in and out next to you, and there's a lot of traffic and loud music, and I mean, it just varies from Walmart to Walmart. I also love it when they have a place to fill up with fuel, which they have right here behind me, so we can just fill up before we leave, head on out, get anything we need from Walmart. Always try to give them business when we can too.
Get up, let's play with Anna.
Most people, from what I've heard, their kids wake them up, but that is not the case with our child. She's usually the last one sleeping and we have to get her up, and she is not happy.
She ain't happy about it. Hensley, you may have to sleep in the car, baby. I'm not gonna sit in the Walmart parking lot till 10 a.m.
You've been talking about going on a trip. Now it's time.
I'm loving that hair, kid. Check that one out, I love it. I wonder what year that one is. There goes Hensley, what is it? What is it? What is that? It's a... It is a fifth wheel! Made it to a Flying J. It's time to stretch out a little bit. We're on day 2 on the road. Hensley did pretty well yesterday, but day 2 is usually much worse. Are you gonna be in a good mood today, or are you gonna not be?
Eat your sandwich. Hold it.
No!
So we've done 2 long days before. We've never done 3. I don't think Hensley can handle 3. So we're gonna do 2 long days, take a break for a day or 2, and then do 2 more long days and try to get as close as we can to the Grand Canyon, or at least in that area where we're gonna explore. We went ahead and filled up on propane while we're here. One of the things I love is that these propane tanks are actually removable on the Airstream. It's way more flexible. Like with our motorhome, I don't know why Flying J does this. I'm sure it's some sort of regulation where they can't do it. I've been to one. It was nice. We pulled up to fuel our motorhome, and it would reach the propane fill up. So like we finished filling up with fuel or whatever, and then cut everything off, and then they filled up for propane. I didn't have to move. But there's been other times where somebody's here in my place, I can't get to the propane, I pull up to fuel because somebody's waiting behind me, I gotta finish with a diesel here, I've gotta drive all the way around, come back through and wait in line again pretty much to get propane. I mean, it's taken us an hour before to get diesel. It was gas in that case with our motorhome, but it's taken us an hour before to get fuel and propane. I did both in like 20 minutes here today because I pulled my tank out, let her fill it up with propane, and while she's filling with propane, actually before she got done filling with propane, I had the diesel pumped in the van, and then I just popped it back in, and we're good to go. And that's been a concern too. I know some people wonder how hard it is to get like a motorhome propane tank filled on the road. We haven't had problems at all when we did it. I mean, Flying J's, a lot of your gas stations, you can actually use Allstates and find places that fill propane. Same deal with our 30-pound tanks. You usually can't exchange those. And so we've got to do the same thing. We got to find places that actually fill propane. And some campgrounds fill propane as well. This is doing it. Piece of cake, huh? Yeah, once we got our hitch problems worked out, like the sway on this isn't bad at all. I mean, if you're like an extreme gust, you'll definitely feel it a little bit more, but days like today, you got maybe 5, it might get up to 10 miles an hour. It's not moving it much. I could hardly tell it was back there, to be honest, which is what you want. Marissa's getting a feel for it. I do love, like when you look out the windshield of a van, it's nothing like a Class A, but you don't see the hood in the front. I do like that. It feels like you get more of a realistic view with a van than you do with a truck. I'm sure Marissa still wishes we got a truck, but...
The truck looks cooler, obviously, but the van was just more practical for what we needed, so that's why I gave the go-ahead on the van.
If you've got more storage in your Airstream, yeah, ours is 31 feet, but we took out some of the storage and we've got a toddler with us. So I think if you've got decent storage inside the Airstream, and if you don't have to go to the bathroom every 30 to 60 minutes, Giant House is going to work while she's driving. We didn't think that through, did we? So this probably won't be a very long test drive. We have this toilet in here if we need it. So that was a a pro of the van too is that we got to put that in here, and since we have a toddler, we have access to her if we need to. But if you don't have to go to the bathroom all the time, don't have a toddler, and you got decent storage, just go with the truck. What's the hardest part of driving this?
That I'm not able to do anything else but drive. I'm not fond of driving anyway, but I don't know, it's not as scary as the Class A because, I mean, it doesn't feel as big, and so that's been easier, as long as I don't have to back it up. I can go in a straight line, I can't back it up.
Be honestly. Got it. Is it Oklahoma? How was it, Pro?
Oh, I'm stiff. It's amazing how tight you get when you're like,
Yeah.
but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought in my mind. I just had to initially get over my fear and do it.
I think if you're just starting out, like this is way less intimidating than like the Class A.
Definitely.
And way better than like the 43-foot fifth wheel too. So I mean, we drove a lot of different things, and this thing just tracks and follows you. You can side swap something, and you do feel a little bit of wind from like semis and stuff like that sometimes, but it's really not bad.
There was times I would, till I looked at my rear view, I forgot there was anything back there.
You really
can't even tell.
This diesel pulls this thing very well, and it brakes great. It pulls it with more power and better braking than our Class A for sure. But,
Good.
yeah.
That was a 3-hour stretch.
Yeah, she did awesome. Help me out. It's good for me to get to stretch my legs every once in a while. 30 or so hours, if I drive all that myself, that's a lot of driving. We're about to head into Oklahoma City rush hour, so I didn't want her driving through that. We try to avoid rush hour everywhere we can. I don't think I've ever gone through Oklahoma City during rush hour, but I don't think it's one of those places I've heard it's like just a nightmare to get through. I haven't tracked our mileage very well. That's something, I'm not great at doing that, but I do know we've spent, this will be about 90, 95 bucks we spent so far on this route. So I mean, we're probably gonna spend, that's 46 that time, wow. Okay, that bumps it up. So we'll say about 110 probably, something like that's where we're at. Yeah, it'd be over 300 bucks. It'd be between 3 and 350, I think is what it looks like we're gonna spend to get out there. If you get to bring your home with you from like Tennessee to the Grand Canyon for like 350 bucks, that's pretty cool. But we've not encountered headwinds yet. If we encounter headwinds, that 14, 15, whatever we're getting, I mean, that could quickly cut down bad on the mileage. We are officially under 1,000 miles. Oh yeah. Well, we took a chance at this park because it's first come, first served, but there's plenty of sites. Good grief. There's probably, I mean, I don't know, 30 to 50 sites or something here. So, not a problem. You want to go to the playground? This place is huge. Tennis courts, basketball. There's like a big pool. I don't know what that's, like a putt-putt course or a skate park or something like that over there. It's a little run down, but it's got a lot of stuff here. Hey, Hensley. Yeah, did you finally get your playground? Pretty sure the pool's not open. But if you're looking for an RV to drive or something to tow, I mean, I guess my advice would be just get into as many RVs as you possibly can. Get a feel for it and just ask yourself, could I live in something this small, or could I tow something this small, or could I tow something this big? Or because the smaller you can get, the better it is.
I don't know if I'd say the better it is. I think it depends what you're going for.
Well, yeah. Well, but the smaller you are, the more options you're going to have as far as where you go and what you do.
Well, flexibility was the main thing to us, but for some others, it might be conveniences or room.
And we've given up some of those conveniences. And I think the other thing I would suggest would be, if at all possible, your first RV, just get something used, because There's so many things that you may or may not know. The chances of getting it perfectly right, or even close to perfectly right on your first one, and even knowing like your situation of, will you love RV living? Are you going to move around as much as you thought you would? Or maybe you thought you wouldn't want to move around, but you realize that sitting in one place with your RV isn't for you, and then now you do want to move around, but you realize your RV is too big. I don't want to make it sound more complicated than it is, because the main thing is just get out there and do it. But at the same time, you want to minimize your chances of making a big mistake. And to me, when you buy new, there's more risk of losing money if you buy the wrong RV. I'm not totally against buying new, but I think there's more risk there as far as the money you can lose.
I mean, I think it just comes down to what your needs are and what's most important for you. And I mean, we loved our Class A. There was some things that we really enjoyed about it, but I think we got to see a lot of the pros of the Airstream, which is things we were going for, which was towing it. And today was a really good reassurance that has been easier, and that's one of the things we had hoped for, was I could help Nathan drive. It wouldn't be as big, we could fit in more places and get, you know, better mileage. And I think there was just a lot of things that we had hoped would come from it. And I think today was a good test.
Hensley, you like the Airstream?
Yes,
You love the Airstream?
I love that.
You love the Airstream?
Well, if Hensley's happy, then that makes us happy, because our whole journey was just to set out to have more family time together and make memories together and be with her as much as we could. And it doesn't matter the space, we're doing that, and that's all that matters. So whatever it takes for you to live your journey, then that's what's best for you.
We had a long day. We're gonna get some rest.
Some ice cream.
Well, she's saying that. That's not what we said. Well, we're gonna get some rest and call it a night, and we'll catch you guys later.